Saturday, November the 19th, 2022, 10 after 9, about 35 degrees in Ackworth, Georgia. We're leaving out, heading to Arcade, Georgia. This may be completely uneventful, or it may be filled with breakdown and intrigue, but breakdown and aggravation. I was going to leave out yesterday morning. I had to move the van to let my daughter out so she could go to work. Then I had to move the van back over to let my son-in-law out so he could go to work. And then I went back in. Everything was fine. No problems at all. Went back in. There was frost on the windshield and the hood. Went back in, got my stuff loaded up, ready to go, and I noticed a puddle under the front of the van, and I thought it was just water from the windshield and the frost on the hood. But then when I got in and cranked it up, the power steering pump went wild, crazy, squealing and carrying on. And so I said, well, that wasn't water. So I cut it off, and sure enough, it was a puddle of power steering fluid. And for those that have been following and watching, I've replaced the Hydroboost, which I never knew existed. I had no idea I'd never heard of a Hydroboost until I had problems with it, but I replaced it and replaced the power steering pump and both power steering lines. The steering box has been replaced about 3 years ago. The lower and upper ball joints were replaced a couple of weeks ago. So I'm thinking the front end is in pretty good shape. But, and like I said, I've never known anything about Hydroboost. And for the last couple of weeks, the power steering has been making some noise. And I figured, well, is it the power steering pump? It's new, I'm gonna have to replace it. Is it the Hydroboost? I don't know anything about these things, how they work. But I do remember watching a couple of videos, and they said that you needed to make sure you got all the air out of the Hydroboost and the brake system once you change that stuff. So, I've always just turned the steering wheel 2 or 3 times, got the air out of the power steering, and never had any trouble out of it, so I didn't pay any attention to that. And now I am thinking, because of what happened yesterday, that there was air in the system all along, and it was causing that power steering pump to whine a little bit, because it's not making as much noise this morning, if at all, as to what it was before this happened yesterday. So I'm thinking there was air in the lines, or in the pump, or the Hydroboost, and it burped that power steering fluid out. Now, I added some the other day because it showed low, but maybe with it cold, the air had contracted, and then once it warmed up, it burped it. It's just too much power steering fluid in it, and it burped it out. But anyway, rather than starting off yesterday, Friday afternoon, 75 and I-285 traffic, I decided to wait until this morning. Try it all again, and sure enough, so far it has not made hardly any noise. It cranked up, ran fine. There was no puddle under it. So here we go. If we have trouble, I'll video that. I'll video the wrecker service coming and hooking up, towing us to Arcade, Georgia. I hope this is a very dull video. I don't want to go through all that mess with it 35 degrees. Now I can stay warm. My batteries are charged. The 2 RV batteries are charged. My solar battery is charged. I've got my heaters in here. I can stay warm. But if I'm on the side of 75 or 285, I'm not going to be sitting in this van. Somebody's liable to run into the back end of it and crunch it. I'll be standing outside in the cold somewhere, waiting on the wrecker. So we'll see. I think we got about 100 and 30 miles to go. Maybe about somewhere between 100 and 120. Right now we've got 298,818. So we should have 918. We ought to have it'll be close to 299, but we'll still be about 70 miles short of 299. Yeah, this road trip, I was planning on turning 300,000, but poor old van. Power steering's making a little bit of noise, but not as much as it has been. Right now, without any more information than I have, I am saying it burped out the air. Well, it is whining. We're going to pull in the racetrack up here at 41 and we will look, see if anything's coming out of it. We just come out of the side road on Georgia 92. We're headed north. Actually headed east, but I mean, the way they designate the roads, we're headed north. I'm recording with the S22 and the Osmo Action 3. I have a DJI wireless mic on the way, and what I want to start doing is putting a camera up on top of the van and being able to narrate still, because I bought a mic set, but I haven't been able to make it work right. We'll get better video because we will not have the distortion through the windshield, and it'll give us a better perspective being up another foot higher. I'm going to pull in this racetrack. This is a new racetrack. It hadn't been open but a couple of weeks. I'm not going to stop and go in. I'm just going to pull over here to the side and look, see if anything's dripping out from underneath it. So let's turn these cameras off for right now, and then we'll get going again. If there's nothing going on, I will wait until we maybe get to 75. The sun's going to be in our eyes, so let's go ahead and turn them off and check this thing out.